Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam, and I misread my notes again and thought I was watching for the 4th time, but thankfully the nice ranger helped me get home okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
Also, while I was out, I met this really cool person, and I would love to introduce you to them.
Oh, please do.
Y'all, this is Danny.
Hi.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Fraggle people. I'm Danny Horn. I've done a whole bunch of Muppet stuff. I did back in the 90s. I had a Muppet fanzine called Muppet Scene, and that was back when those things existed. And then when websites existed in 2001, I founded Tough Pigs.
The Tough Pigs?
The Tough Pigs. I was
Oh
the
my
original
goodness,
pig.
The Tough Pigs that hosts Fraggle Talk Classic?
The very same.
And then 2005, I went and started Muppet Wiki with my friend Scott Hansen. And these days, I run the Muppet Pictures Twitter and Facebook feeds, it's delightful and you should check them out.
Yep.
And also, I host the Fantastic Miss Piggy podcast.
Yes.
Which is an amazing new podcast about my very favorite character in the world.
It's so great. I'm finally catching up. I got really far behind on it. I'm now catching up again. I'm so glad that you're doing this podcast. Like, thank you for helping expand my understanding of what Miss Piggy is and her role within the Muppets. It's so cool.
That's awesome.
I think folks, I grew up in the 70s and was there with Miss Piggy when in the 70s and early 80s when that was really her time. And I think folks who were kind of coming to Muppet fandom later, because they were born later, really missed out on something super special. And so I'm hoping at least like for the first season that I just did is all about kind of that time period of when she was a huge star. And then I'm working right now on season 2, which is going to be kind of Miss Piggy maturing and becoming something different. And so, yeah, it's been really, really fun to just like hone in and just pay attention to one thing. And my basic theory of it is that with Miss Piggy, going too far is actually the appropriate amount of far.
Love it.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. She, as a character, she's not necessarily dynamic, but she exists to add a dynamic element to whatever plot she is in, right?
I don't understand that distinction, but yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, a dynamic character is one who, like, within their character grows and changes over the course of whatever story is being told.
Right, no,
sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't.
No, she doesn't really, but yeah, no, she exists to come in. That's one thing that I really love about Miss Piggy is that just having her come into the room, it means that there's a story. Like, you're never just hanging out and Miss Piggy is there. Like, we now have something to talk about.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Speaking of something to talk about, we're here to talk about
Episode 9 of Season 2, Sir Hubris and the Gorgs, which originally aired on February 27th, 1984, written by Sujith Varghese and directed by George Bloomfield.
I'm super excited that I get to be here for this episode. Because this one, as far as I know, this is the one that brought peace to the world. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This did it.
It's the one that did it.
It didn't last very long. It was kind of like saying you're going to quit cigarettes. Like, there was peace for a little bit.
For a minute, yeah.
Yep.
I think it was like 1 minute and 7 seconds.
We'll see if we can like find the place within the episode where like, that's it.
That's the one.
Peace in the world.
I just want to say, it's been a minute since we watched Fraggle Rock, and as I was queuing up the episode, I was like, oh, this means I get to listen to the theme song. So, recurring Fraggle Talk classic bit theme song still slaps.
So yeah, we open with a thunderstorm happening in the world of the workshop with Doc and Sprocket.
And just the utter perfection of Sprocket.
Oh gosh, what a guy.
I love him so much. And like just specifically, he reacts to each drop. So he's sitting in his little dog bed and there's a leak in the roof and water drops are individually dropping on his head. And Steve Whitmire, bless him, he is making specific decisions about exactly when and where a drop just landed on him. And he does something different every time. So like it lands on his
actual water dripping.
Yeah.
It's all puppetry.
Yeah. And so there's a moment where like you can tell it like it lands on his nose and then he kind of like brushes his nose a little bit and then the next one like lands in his hand and he kind of licks his hand. Like every single drop, he has a specific like little thing to do and he's just so gorgeous doing all of that.
Yep.
Yeah. The amount of tiny little perfect details that add up to this just incredibly seamless realization of like, oh, yeah, the roof is leaking. And then we also get the like emotional beat after Sprocket realizes that the roof is leaking.
Yes.
And then has to communicate that to Doc.
Which, as with communicating things with Doc, is work.
Well, that's so interesting because, like, we get Doc coming in from outside where he's lent the mailman his umbrella, which is such a kind thing to do. And then his immediate reaction to the leak is like, oh, I'm just going to put this bowl on my dog's head and I'll figure it out later. I'm going to go back to looking at these bills in this magazine, this Tinkerer's magazine that's come in. It's very on brand for Doc.
I will say I appreciate that his particular brand of being a cruddy dog owner has slipped into, like, goofy slapstick away from just, like, that's like a living animal, and you are depriving it of what it needs,
True.
sir.
Well, Sprocket does like almost this little double thing. Like Doc kind of puts the bowl on his head to catch the water, and he kind of like puts his ears out and like has this little comic moment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep saying I love Sprocket.
Oh, yes.
Sprocket's great.
This is the I Love Sprocket
show. We are very
show.
pro Sprocket
That's
on
awesome.
this podcast.
By the way, Doc gets so much mail.
Yeah.
Even back when people got mail, they didn't get that much mail. He's got so much going on for a guy who lives in like a tiny little house.
I mean, I assume that knowing that it's Doc, he checks his mailbox like once a week when he remembers to.
Oh, maybe.
On a build-up.
Except, yeah, this time he directly spoke with the mailman, so maybe the mailman was like,
Maybe it only
oh
comes.
my gosh, please check your mailbox. You have so much.
So we cut to Gobo and Wembley, and Gobo's going off to get his... he's just adventuring, even. He's not going for a postcard. He's just adventuring. And Wembley's there, and I love this little sequence so much. Wembley's very excited, and there's almost like an urgency in how badly Wembley really wants to help. And Gobo's finally like, all right, you can help. Which way should we go? And Wembley immediately just blue screens. And you get to watch Wembley do like 3 different trails of analysis about, well, we could go this way, but there might be monsters that way. We could go this way, and there could be something amazing that way. And then Gobo goes that way, and then Wembley goes, or there could be monsters again. And Gobo's like, Wembley, you're killing me.
You're killing me, Smalls.
You're killing me, Smalls. And the thing that I really appreciate about this, and that feels like just a little bit extra bit of depth in the normal thing of Wembling that we get, is Gobo finally like gives up on Wembley and is like, I'm just gonna go. And Wembley, he just goes one way, and Wembley sits there and is like, oh man, Gobo, he's so decisive. And then as Wembley's saying that, Gobo walks back across screen and goes the other way and pauses, looks at Wembley and says, not a word.
Yeah, they didn't have to put that little button on the end, but I'm glad they did.
Super cute.
Yeah, and it is indicative of like a little bit more depth and also a little bit of acknowledging of like, yeah, maybe Wembley's famous for Wembling, but it's not like nobody else Wembles.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have some questions though.
Awesome, you should ask them. I love questions.
Okay, question number 1 is how much exploring can possibly be necessary at this point? I will explain it. Like, they're kind of casually walking, so they're clearly in like a well-traveled area because Wembley's not all excited about like, oh my god, where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, okay, that way or that way. And it just is like, okay, but as soon as we step away from here, no one knows what's out there. And so my question is, like, how can there be all of these unknown areas? These characters, they live down there their entire lives.
We have talked about this.
Have you really?
Yes. There's about 3 reasons that I'm remembering. One,
Is one magic?
they are very small, and the rock and the tunnels are very large.
Okay.
2, Fraggles as a society don't have a lot of institutional memory.
That's another question.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like some old books of maps, and there's some people who like, the storyteller is like a collector of stories, and she's the one who keeps the stories, and there's like occasionally old books or something that they find, but there's no there's no libraries here. There's no like atlases or maps.
Yeah, there's like individual maps, but definitely nothing like an atlas. Yeah.
Yeah. Gobo inherited some from Traveling Matt, but Traveling Matt doesn't even use them, which means he doesn't write anything down.
That is very true.
So a lot of these explorers might be running over to completely the same places, but because nobody's ever said anything about it or written it down, they're just like, haha, this is a new place.
That is probably right. Yeah, you couldn't expect Traveling Matt to... That guy's he's not gonna be that detailed about what he tells you.
No, and he's an unreliable narrator.
Yeah, he'll tell you a cool story about the thing he found.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, how did you get there? And he'll be like, oh, that's not important. Why on earth would I need to go the same place twice? I'm going here now. Boo! And then he would fall down something.
And I guess the 4th reason is like magic.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Because I guess we do kind of know that, like the TARDIS, it can sort of infinitely rearrange itself and regenerate itself.
That would be a trip if you had a spin-off of Fraggle Rock that was just the Fraggles who live in the TARDIS.
Oh, jeez. That would be delightful as heck.
Just every so often you see just like really big feet as like whichever doctor you're in right now just sort of wanders by and they're like, thunder, meh. Anyways.
We just live in these magic quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot to talk about this episode. I want to make sure we get to the Gorgs pretty quickly because, this is a lore-heavy episode.
It really is.
We're getting a lot of Gorgish lore.
Gorgish lore. Not Gorg lore, because that's a terrible mouthfeel.
Gorg lore.
Gorgish lore is arguably worse, but more fun to say in here.
Exactly. So, yeah, we get Ma and Pa being, like, just so sweet with each other and in an effusive way. I wrote down there, like, if Gomez and Morticia were less good people, but who think that they're better people?
Interesting.
Yeah, it is very much like Gomez and Morticia as, like, ruling class of a colonial society.
Which they would never.
They would never, no.
And also, like, talking Shakespeare type talk.
Right.
Which they're shifting towards now.
Yeah, which I'm still really not used to. Like, it's because they didn't do it in season 1, so this is, I think, like, the second or third time we've really seen them speak in this way. And it's really, especially Ma Gorg, Pa Gorg a little bit too, and then not so much Junior. Junior still speaks the same way that we've really gotten to see through the first season.
Yeah.
But she's really into it, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She really likes it.
Lots of forsooths and hasts.
Yeah. Hast thou noticed how our sweet son and heir to the throne doth grow?
Mm-hmm.
It's just an amazing line.
I did specifically write down their terms of endearment. There's darling Lord of the Universe, and he responds with, my dear Empress of Light and Darkness.
It's so good.
Which is just kind of sweet. I like that we're getting dimensions.
Yeah. They're not just terrible people. They also really love each other.
Yeah. Terrible people can love each other.
And they live in their own personal Renfest.
Mm-hmm. So they're talking about how Junior is growing and it might be ready to have the talk.
Yep.
Which was very funny because I was like, okay, are they about to give Junior the sex talk?
He seems to think they are.
It's exactly what they're trying to imply.
Sex with who? Sex with who?
Yeah.
There's no other Gorgs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Junior's into it.
Oh, yeah.
Junior wants the talk.
Yeah.
He's really excited for the sex talk.
He's raring to go.
And then they decide it's actually the How to Rule the Universe talk, and he's clearly bummed.
Yeah.
Oh, this is that talk.
Also, just like, and maybe this was just me being brain rotted by the internet, but there's a bit where they're talking about how Junior's gotten so much bigger, and then they cut over to him, and Junior kind of throws it back a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of twerking. Yeah.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
I noticed that too. It was weird.
Cool. I'm not crazy.
Well, you are, but not about this particular thing.
Whee! Anyways. So, we get rules about what kings do. We get 2 rules that Pa manages to impart to Junior, which is 1, kings don't cry. Terrible rule.
Yeah,
terrible rule.
Not
Toxic
true.
masculinity.
Yeah.
No crying in baseball.
There's no crying in baseball.
And also, I think we see him cry later anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We
So
see
they
all of
definitely
them
cry.
later
It's a
on.
very cry-heavy show.
Which I do really appreciate, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, kings don't thump Fraggles. They have their subjects do it for them, which, again, also terrible. Gotta be able to lead by example.
But I love that Junior follows that up logically with, okay, do I have any subjects? No? Cool. I'm going back to thumping Fraggles.
Yep.
I've got one other thing just about this scene.
Mm-hmm.
A little like wiki type note.
Ooh, yes, please.
Is I saw this on Muppet Wiki. I may originally have written it myself someday. It's raining in Doc's world,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time, it's really like dry and sunny in the Gorg world. And apparently, this is the first time. It's the first piece of evidence that we see that the Gorg world is actually physically separate from the real. Is not actually like in the real world,
Right.
Or at least it's very far away.
or at least it's very far away.
Yeah, up to now we've only been able to speculate about why do the humans and the Gorgs not know about each other, if they're both above and connected to Fraggle
If
Rock.
they're huge,
And if they're huge, you would think we would notice them walking around.
I would have seen one.
Right? I mean, I don't know. Everybody says that about coyotes, but they don't, because coyotes are really good at stealth. They live in cities. Cities have coyotes. There's coyotes in, like, San Francisco. I saw a coyote walking home in my suburbs.
Yeah, no, I saw
I see coyotes all the time.
Okay, well, maybe the generalized quip that I made has slightly more nuance to it than the real world.
I don't think I see coyotes, so I'll back you up.
That's fair. Thanks, Danny. I appreciate it.
There you go. It probably depends on your part of the country and your part of the city.
They're rampant in Portland.
That makes sense, though. Portland feels like a very coyote-friendly city.
That's why there are so few roadrunners there.
No, coyotes, they really like Portland's public transportation.
Oh,
They really like Portland's outdoor cats is also a huge thing that loves to be talked about on the next door forums.
Yum, I bet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving away from tragedy and moving into... Speaking of fauna...
There you go.
We get to see some cool new fauna in the song that Gobo sings.
Yes. This is one of probably the best songs in Fraggle Rock. It's just like widely applicable. You don't have to be like, oh, this is that hyper-specific situation they were singing about in that one episode. You could just put it on and sing along. This is on my playlist for road trips.
Nice.
It's a good one.
I sang today. I sang this song for about an hour straight.
Did it get stuck in your head? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. And literally, because no one was here, and I was doing something boring, and that song can endlessly repeat if you want it to. And it's super fun to sing. I love this song so much. Yeah.
The song is called Only Way Home, and it is one that was covered a couple of different times. It was covered on the Do It On Our Own cover album, and was in Back to the Rock.
Oh, awesome.
And it has an awesome singer who's backing up Gobo.
I was going to say...
Aretha is back!
Oh, wait, have we seen this person before?
Yeah, so several episodes back, I made a note of like, oh, here's this cool background puppet. She's gonna come back. And by the way, her name is Aretha, which will be evident when you see her come back.
Because, oh my god, I love, and I bet I said this the last time that we saw her, I love the trope of like big, like burly, or like the kind of thing that if you grew up in this society and were societized as we were, you would look and be like, that's probably male. And then when they open their mouth and sing, you're like, oh, that's a beautiful feminine voice. Midnight Gospel has a very good version of this in their episode with the Time Prison.
Yeah, we didn't actually get to hear Aretha sing or even speak last time.
That explains why it didn't stick in my brain.
Yeah, and then this is her moment to shine, and then that puppet is going to move on to have some background moments in things like Muppet Treasure Island.
Glorious.
Do we know who voices Aretha?
I do. It's Sharon Lee Williams.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Who has a Muppet Wiki page. She does at least this and possibly something else on Fraggle Rock. And then she does some singing for the Jim Henson Hour.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's got an amazing voice. I really appreciate her bringing soul to this song that is arranged like a country and western song.
Yeah.
I think my only issue is just how incredibly chill Gobo is about this. Because if a soul-singing Sasquatch just showed up as I was wandering through the woods and singing and sang an awesome harmony backup to me, I'd be losing my mind.
I actually think this is the one thing in this episode that makes sense. That, like, of course, you just go, you're in Fraggle Rock, you walk down a tunnel, and there's just going to be some random thing that harmonizes you just because, like, Phil and Dennis came up with another barn burner.
Fair.
Yeah, because Aretha's not the only one there. We got some little background birds.
There's a purple-haired gray duck.
Yeah. And then we've got a couple of the little green guys who are kind of like rat noses with bat wings. They're very cute, and I love them.
Okay, and I am double checking, and I was right in watching her sing. I was like, I am so certain that this character was in at least Muppet Christmas Carol, if not also Muppet Treasure Island, and she was. She is just a townsperson, especially in the Scrooge number.
Vindicated.
Yeah.
So I think Gobo just goes on adventures just to come up with a new traveling song.
That makes a lot of sense.
He loves traveling.
Honestly, fair. A lot of the songs that I have written while driving on road trips.
And are they about driving on road trips?
Sometimes.
Because Gobos are.
Sometimes they are. Sometimes they're about whatever I need to process. Sometimes they're about the place I'm driving through. Like, I have a song that I wrote in that scenario because it was like a really dry area of Nevada, but there was a river and there was this like patch of green around it and then everything else was dry. And I was like, I would like to write a song from the point of view of one of these withered, hunched plants who is unhappy about their lot in life, and it is a metaphor for capitalism.
Ooh.
And then a random monster, a coyote, appeared.
Oh my god, I would love a coyote back
to
episode.
harmonize with you.
True fact, actually, I have a really high quality sample of one timber wolf howling from the distance from a state park.
Nice.
And it has tonality to it, and you can harmonize with it. And I have.
Oh, that's so Fraggle-y of you.
Yeah, your regular Gobo Fraggle.
Oh, thank you. Gobo Fraggle, but with Ableton. So, oh my god, we didn't even touch on it. There's some amazing slapstick in the Gorg scenes.
Oh, yes.
Just absolutely fantastic slapstick. And there's continuity to it, because when we cut to them, Ma gonna be reading the Legend of Sir Hubris, Pa's got a bandage on his head.
Mm-hmm. And then even later than that, he gets hit on the head more, and then the next time he's got a bandage on his nose, too.
Yep. Also, Junior is apparently so big and muscular that every time he jumps, the house starts to fall apart.
Right. Is that a question about how big and heavy Junior is, or about how decrepit the castle is?
Ooh.
Por qué no los dos?
Both.
True. Which, for a long time, I was like, I made it halfway through the episode, and I was like, okay, I'm still not seeing a connection between the Doc and Sprocket segments and the Fraggle and Gorg segments, other than stuff is falling on someone's head from the ceiling.
Oh.
Unintended consequences for poorly thought out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end, that was the connection I made, but, like, usually I'm able to catch that sooner. I'm able to see the connection sooner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I also just want to point out, this bit happens like 5 times, and literally, they're so good about it. Every time Junior jumps up and down, they drop another piece of drywall on Pa's head.
Yep.
Somebody is just off screen.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting.
I have in my notes, you'd think after a while Pa would get a dang helmet, which just goes to show you, fascism's framing of risk reduction as weakness is its Achilles heel.
Oh, snap.
Good call.
I wrote down in my notes, like, Pa, why don't you just pick a different spot to sit in? It's clearly all happening in that one spot.
Because that would be seen as weak. Definitely, no, that is seen as showing weakness, and we can't have that. No, get ivermectin instead.
And there's Junior in his little radish pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
His little radish pajamas.
Which I just love.
Yeah.
So can we talk about Sir Hubris?
Yeah. So it's the Gorg origin story, and, like, spoiler alert, it doesn't make sense.
I have questions.
I'll bet you have questions. So the long and short of it is, Sir Hubris was this little guy.
He's just a little guy.
Skinny little guy.
He's just a little guy. About half the height of a Gorg. And he was ruling the universe prior to the Gorgs.
Now that feels unlikely to me. It's once upon a time, before time began, the world was ruled by a mystical creature known as Sir Hubris.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, citation needed. I don't know. it feels to me you can't just pause it like this. How did this spindly little creature find himself?
Well, but Danny, they have a painting. That's all the citation you should need, right?
Yeah.
They do have a painting. Yeah.
Evidence. Of a king, presumably King Gorgas the Great, who was the first king of the Gorgs, and looks an awful lot like Junior.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the painting is of Sir Gorgas. Okay, because I thought it was supposed to be of Sir Hubris, and in their description where they're like, he was smaller and very skinny, I was like, oh, he's a human. That's what I initially assumed, where, like, it's much shorter than the Gorgs and much less big. But then they showed the picture, and I was like, Sir Hubris like a tiny Gorg? Like, did that just develop over time with, like, word of mouth and legend and lore? But that was Sir Gorgas, you think?
I mean, so there's 2 people in the picture.
Are there 2 people in the picture?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
there's a bit
Okay.
where Ma Gorg says, and then Sir Hubris put on his brown traveling cloak, you know, the one with the hood.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the picture, there's a picture of a Gorg wearing a crown, and next to it there is a picture of a little scrawny Dementor-looking dude who's about half Gorgas's height.
Oh, I totally missed that.
Yeah, it's not super well lit, and he's, wearing like a dark brown robe, and his face is all in shadow, and so, yeah, easy to miss.
I was wondering about that, if people would see that, yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. I was the one who missed it.
It's okay. My follow-up question for this is, we know this show is about 4 different races that are all knee height to each other.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which means if the average human being is like 5'6" or something, right? That means that the average Gorg is like 10, 11, 12 feet tall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This dude is not knee height to this Gorg. This dude is half the height of this Gorg.
Yeah.
Which means I don't think Sir Hubris could be a human, because he'd have to be like 10 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
So I don't know what the heck this dude is, but I'm mad curious.
This tiny little skinny thing.
And it's just never explained. They just say that Sir Hubris decided that, he wanted to go out and see the universe. And so he gave the crown to the first king of the Gorgs. And since then, the Gorgs have ruled the universe. But someday, Sir Hubris will return, and the crown must be returned to him. And the reign of the Gorgs will be over, and the Gorgs will pack their bags and wander the universe. The end. And that's all the explanation we get.
It's such a vague outcome. They're just gonna wander.
I feel like there were a lot of irregularities in that election.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Strange beings in cloaks distributing crowns is no basis for a system of government.
Thank you.
It's like the hold my beer version of history. Just like, oh, here, hold on. Just take this for just a hot second.
Just work on this for like a little bit for me. I want to go somewhere.
So I got a little too deep into it, and I said,
oh, good.
I wonder if Sir Hubris is supposed to be God, and Gorgs are like humans who God let have a little bit of consciousness for a while God off to go exploring existence, and when God comes back, we won't be in charge anymore, but then it's our turn to off and go exploring existence for a while.
I mean, I took it as just so many different religions just like being passed through time, and also a lot of religion just is based on a lore. Yeah. Fan fiction, if you will, sometimes. And so, it is vague and weird, and there's so many holes, but also it is bare belief, and so they're like, yeah, this is what we believe in, and it makes total sense to us. But from the outside, you're like, no,
this is not.
What are you even talking about?
So if we're going down that rabbit hole, as we are wont to do.
Oh, don't worry, I have more rabbit holes for us to go down.
Awesome.
Yes. Oh God, I missed y'all. I love this. It's so fascinating to me that his name is Sir Hubris.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Bingo.
Because if you want to look at this as a direct metaphorical translation, they were saying before us, arrogance ruled the universe. And then it was our turn.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is, if you just look at the text of it, an implication that like, no, we are supposed to be ruling with humility because we took over from arrogance.
Now here's where we can really get deep into it, because I was looking up what is the etymology of hubris.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it's a concept from ancient Greek theater. Greek tragedies required basically like 3 stages.
Mm-hmm.
The first of which was hubris, in this context more commonly spelled Hybris. So hubris, nemesis, and catharsis are like the stages that the main character and the audience are supposed to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And hubris is often translated as like excessive pride, but specifically excessive pride and or injustices that offend the gods.
Yeah.
So you commit an act of hubris by being prideful or like abusing your power in some way that offends the gods. So that is the act of hubris. And then the second stage, nemesis, I was like, how did this come to mean like enemy? That seems to be like a 21st century thing. Like nemesis just means like arch enemy. But apparently it comes from this concept of like divine justice. It also like personified as a goddess, the goddess Nemesis, that you are now getting your divine comeuppance for your act of hubris.
Mm-hmm.
But that was only the second of the 3.
Real quick, that's just the most American interpretation of nemesis. Like, hey, we have this word that means divine justice. Oh, you mean our arch enemy? No, we need to triumph over our arch enemy.
Justice.
Accountability.
So apparently it was like a slow shifting over time of like someone who is pursuing the main character in order to pursue what they believe is a sense of justice. So like an enemy that has a particular like grudge against the hero character.
The Furies come after you and they hunt you down for vengeance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then the whole process isn't complete until you get to catharsis, which is, it's translated as like cleansing. So the story isn't complete until the person who has done the bad thing now is like, oh, okay, I get it now. I've had this full character arc and I'm going to be a better person now.
So let me see if I got this right. So you're saying that first it's hubris, like deciding to go up onto your roof and fix a leak in the middle of the night, in the middle of a rainstorm, and then Nemesis is like the divine justice happening to you, like your leg gets stuck in the roof. And then Catharsis is when Ned Schimmelfinney comes over, the Deus Ex Machina of Ned Schimmelfinney comes over and makes everything okay. And then you've learned a lesson about not fixing the roof.
Bingo. That's Greek theater in a nutshell.
Nailed it.
That's how it works.
It's like I'm back in college and I'm relearning things I learned over a decade ago.
Right?
That's also really cool, because I thought Hubris, the origin of it, wasn't necessarily an act that offended the gods as much as it was just the character's fatal flaw.
I mean, a lot of the times, probably.
Yeah, kind of like how Othello and Hamlet are like, the only thing wrong with them is they're each in the wrong play.
Yeah.
Are they supposed to be in each other's play?
Oh, yeah. Well, Hamlet's whole thing is that he, like, overthinks the heck out of things and overthinks the heck out of things, and then he finally has, like, an incredibly complicated plan, but while he's overthinking, the bad guy is off doing whatever he wants to. And Othello's whole thing is that he doesn't actually stop and think, he just reacts immediately with violence and emotion, and that means that he's super easy to manipulate. So Hamlet would roll into Othello's play and be like, hold up, let me talk to like 3 different people and then go be alone for a little while and think about, actually this doesn't make sense. I think I do trust Desdemona. Desdemona seems okay. And Othello would roll into Hamlet's play and be like, oh, Dad, my uncle kills you? Great, I'm going to kill him tomorrow. Boom, end of play.
Yeah.
There you go.
That was brilliant.
Can't claim credit for that analysis. There was an amazing article that I read, the name of which I have no memory of. But
edit that out of the episode. Let's all believe you.
I mean,
I believe in you.
What?
You brought
Plagiarism.
it to us. You brought it to
Thank
us.
you.
I believe in you.
I will take that.
All right.
It was public. I saw it. I was going to make a joke dunking on AI, and I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. We're good. Moving on. Anyways, so we get to the traveling Matt postcard.
Great.
And there's a couple of kids dressed up as Kermit and Miss Piggy, and I saw it, and it was great.
It's Halloween.
And Gobo basically sees this and is like, oh, hold up, I have an idea. I'm going to dress up as King Arthur and take over England.
Yeah, they decide to dress up like Sir Hubris, and they basically build a Fraggle ladder. And where the heck did they just happen to have a cloak that is the size of half a Gorg or 5 Fraggles?
So here's the other thing. 5 Fraggles? That's not 10 feet tall.
Nope.
No. I think we're just supposed to suspend our disbelief. Or just... for me, it was... They probably don't match the exact description of Sir Hubris, but the Gorgs have never seen Sir Hubris, and so the fact that there is just suddenly a very skinny, shorter figure, they're like, oh, this just must be it. We're not going to question it. They believe
That's fair. The Gorgs are also not the brightest and follow things unquestioningly.
That is very true. They fall into the Fraggles trap so quickly. Also, it just made them being on top of each other. I was like, it's Muppet Man, but it's,
Yes.
Fraggle Rock's version of Muppet Man. Little less, I don't know, weird, I guess.
Yeah, anytime we have a tower of Muppets, it's a great time.
It is now Muppet Man.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Muppet Man, we ran over the Kermit and Miss Piggy Halloween costumes. Mm-hmm. Can I dwell on that for just a moment?
Yeah.
Please dwell. I would love to encourage and invite you to dwell.
Because this actually, it's an interesting moment in Muppet history that I think should be acknowledged here.
Mm-hmm.
That it's 1984. It's like just a few months before Muppets Take Manhattan come out. The thing that everyone is talking about kind of leading up to Muppets Take Manhattan is like, are Kermit and Miss Piggy going to get married or not? And it was like this huge publicity thing. Like all of the talk shows were like, are they going to get married or are they not? And so having kids dressed up as Kermit and Miss Piggy is very true to life for 1984. But this is probably the last Halloween where you're going to see that as like a regular event. Like starting in 1985, it's going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now, as opposed to Kermit and Miss Piggy coming in. So I feel like this is sort of saying goodbye to this as a concept that like the Muppets now are like turning into Muppet babies. And so now is the moment where like that torch is passed, like both to Muppet Babies and then also to Fraggle Rock, which kind of keeps continuing into the 80s.
Yeah.
And so it is a beautiful moment, I feel.
I love that.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
That is really sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's amazing what can happen when someone thinks you're something you're not.
Oh, there's the lesson.
I don't even know what that lesson means. I don't know. That's how they ended the scene, so I figured.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's at least what Gobo takes away from it.
Yeah. He's like, great, we're gonna go trick the Gorgs. And they're gonna buy it. And they do. Again, immediately. So quickly.
I also just want to touch, there's a bit in the Gorgs where they're like Pogorg is like, Junior, what are you doing up in the belfry? Which, that is exactly what a belfry is. Excellent use of the term belfry.
Yeah.
And Junior says, I'm keeping watch. Those pesky Fraggles might be planning something. Am I the only one who had an immediate flashback to the husband and Chicken Run?
Oh my god, I haven't seen Chicken Run in so long.
He's just like, I told you they was organized.
Okay, watch it and then watch the sequel because the sequel is great.
There's a sequel?
Is the sequel already out?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
What?
Oh, I thought that it was
or
coming
whichever
out
service.
later. Okay, good to know. The more you know. Star. Can I also say the scene where they are practicing being Sir Hubris, where we are seeing them slowly
the ladder
build up. It's the puppetry is so great. The humor with Boober being on the bottom, being like,
yes.
I shouldn't have finished my laundry. I could be doing that now instead. And as Moki steps on top, he does the splits. His legs almost go out underneath him.
So good.
There's just so many nice moments of puppetry, zooming in on them and how they're all struggling in different ways. It's such a delightful moment.
Yeah, there's a moment later where Moki's like, oh, I'm slipping, and then we see Wembley like, it's okay, I got you, with her foot on his nose.
Yeah.
And one question that I have is when they were doing the ladder thing, did they actually build the set? Oh, I should have paid more attention to this actually. Did they build a set and then the puppeteers are actually on top of each other, behind that set doing the characters? Or is it actually they just did it one chunk at a time?
Yeah, do we see all of them actually, all together on top of each other?
We do get at least one full panning shot of all 5 of them when they're in the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, at some point they, some of the shots, if it's closer up, you'll get one character with, the feet of another.
Yeah.
But there is a panning shot or 2 where we get to see all of them.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
They didn't have to go that hard.
But they did. Of course they did.
Behind the scenes, they're all actually kind of on each other's shoulders. And he's not really there. It's Sir Hubris, I should say, or the Fraggle Tower. He's green screened in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of in front of them. And they do a mostly good job of making sure the Gorg eye line is at the top of where the Fraggle Tower is, which I think is adorable.
That is I did not notice that. That's a really cool detail. In terms of cinematography, they have been upping their game on the cinematography for season 2 in ways that continue to astound me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also just appreciate that the Gorg version of Yeet a Puppet is just throw a Gorg suit down some stairs.
This is the second time we've seen this move with Junior, where he's been at the top of the tower and then he's fallen down the stairs.
Yeah, and specifically the one at the top of the tower is the Junior hand puppet, and then when he hits the bottom of the stairs, then he's the full Junior again.
Yeah.
No, it's the same with me. Whenever I'm at the top of tower, it's just my head and shoulders, and then if I fall down the stairs, it's the rest of my body.
Yeah.
How disorienting.
The doctor said it's genetic. So they roll up, and they're like, oh, come out here, Gorgs, we have to talk to you. Pa Gorgog rolls out with a musket with one of them old-fashioned it's not a silencer, it's a loudencer on it.
I don't know if he's already called it this, but he will several times refer to his blunderbuss.
I think that we've seen it before. We've seen his gun, which is very on brand for Pogorg. Of course he would have a gun.
And of course it would be called a blunderbuss.
And it is very much a blunderbuss, yeah. One thing that I like when they're all waiting, when Junior goes in and the Fraggle Tower is kind of waiting for them to come back out, you can hear each of the individual Fraggles has a little uh-oh or oh no,
It's like
yeah,
so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, the voice work is so fantastic.
This is the point, I guess, where I guess I started that way with being all over Sprocket, but just oh, this show is cute.
It's real good.
Yeah.
And it's cute and mark your bingo boards, but there's really no seams in the world building. All those little details that we might not necessarily notice even the absence of, and we might not necessarily notice that they're there, but they fill the world out in this way that makes it feel subconsciously just so very real.
Like when we see, the full shot of Sir Hubris standing with the Gorgs, and Sir Hubris is in green screen, you see Boober's little tail poking out at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it works.
Oh, it works like a
they
charm.
Roll up and they're like, work, Sir Hubris, you gotta go. And all the Gorgs have genuinely just despairing emotional reactions to this. And then we get the twist of the episode because they all start packing up and Junior starts plucking all the radishes.
Yep.
And Gobo's watching this oh, that's not good. And then Pa Gorg's like, well, we need to destroy the well. We can't leave anything for the enemy. Fill it with trash and cement. They're like, oh, no. And it's this really nice lesson about, like, yeah, interdependence is a genuine thing. You can say you want to get rid of this group of people and then suddenly realize that
they are part of the balance of nature.
There are consequences that you were not going to expect.
Yeah, Pa specifically tells Junior to plug up the well with the trash heap.
Yeah.
Like, not just any trash, but the sentient trash from which the Fraggles get their wisdom.
Their friend.
Their friend.
And the Fraggles do not yet understand the balance of nature. This is something that I guess kind of happens over the course of the series, that they figure out, like, how it works with the Doozers and how it works with the Gorgs. But it's only been, I guess, a season and a little bit, and so they're not there yet with the Gorgs. This might be their first time of really, like, it clocking for them that, oh wait, we need those guys.
Right. Like, we saw a little bit in
the radish famine episode where the radishes.
Thank you. Yeah. Where we found out that all three major species at least use radishes in some way.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first time that getting rid of the Gorgs would have presented a threat to the Fraggles in any way.
Yeah, and it also, like, it highlights a really important point around that level of interdependence. And I did a look up, and it turns out that the movie I was going to reference is way more problematic than I remember it being when I saw when I was a teenager. So instead, we're pivoting to Adventure Time.
Nice.
One of my favorite Adventure Time episodes there's this jerk who's just like a giant cabbage who's being an absolute jerk to these little house people. And it's just sort of like schoolyard bullying them. And Finn is like, this is terrible. No, we need to stop this. And so they, like, take the jerk whose name is Donnie, and they take him home, and they teach him how to be, like, a good person, and they teach him how to use, like, empathy and stuff. And then they come back, and all the house people are getting attacked by wolves. And they're like, what? This is so much worse. And the wolves, who turn out to not be werewolves, but Y-wolves, put on their little science coats and goggles and explain, but the thing is, Donnie's jerk waves were keeping us from attacking the house people. But now that he's gone, and now he's a kind and caring individual, we're available and we can eat them to our delight. And it's this really lovely parable about trying to apply morality to an ecosystem that sits with me very comfortably. And this feels similar, but in terms of not just ecosystems, but like economics.
Yeah, like systemic power structures. Yeah.
Exactly. I can cite the film that I was thinking of. And just note that it turns out it is way more problematic. But they made a movie when I was in high school called A Day Without a Mexican. That was just like, what would happen in California if all of the Latino immigrants vanished? And it had a decent point about, like, yeah, everybody who's, like, oh, go back to where you came from would then have to, like, oh, we have to do all of these jobs that nobody wanted to do and only migrant people were getting paid to do. Didn't age well, though, apparently.
No.
And so
when you said it's a little problematic, I was expecting, like, it's Robin Hood, and there's like a character it's stereotypical, and you just went straight for A Day Without a Mexican.
Well, I mean, so the point they were trying to make was like a decent and valid point. They just made it in a terrible, obviously did not consult actual
this movie
like
came out in
immigrant sort of way.
2004. I've never heard of this movie. There's also
I've heard of it. Yeah,
there's no one in it that I am familiar with. So okay, this is a real thing.
We can cut this out if future Beth decides that she wants to.
Please don't. That made me laugh.
Hey, we're acknowledging that it's problematic, but at the time tried to make a point in a problematic way.
So fascinating.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of emblematic of where the Fraggles and Gorgs are. Like, there's a lot of stuff they do not understand yet. And they're trying, and they're getting there. I really appreciate that Ma and Pa are, like, understanding that, like, it is important to teach our son, like, where he comes from and, like, our cultural history, and then they're standing by it. Like, they're like, no, we have to leave. We can't, like, just stay here and kill Sir Hubris and bury him under the trash heap and tell no one.
Full on what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to do something kind of like what the conservative right is doing right now and being like, actually, Jesus is too weak. We need a better Bible. Instead of like, Jesus was right. We should change. They're like, no, Jesus is too weak. Get better.
I mean, that was maybe what I found the most interesting like jumping ahead to when the Fraggles have realized this is a bad mistake we've done, we need to like go and tell them to stay, and they tell the Gorgs, they're like, never mind, I'm just passing through as Sir Hubris, so you can stay here in the castle. But they're like, no, this is our legend, this is our history, this is what we are meant to do, and we have to honor that. And I don't know if we've really seen that side of the Gorgs before. It was really interesting.
We've seen them be rigid, but usually in ways that benefit them.
Right.
This is the first time we've seen them embrace this level of rigidity, even though it clearly doesn't benefit them and they don't want to.
Yeah.
Which I kind of respect and also judge them for, a little both. So Gobo eventually is like, well, there's only one thing we can do then. And they just like full on Fraggle cloak thrash the Gorgs and are like, we fooled you. And then they run away.
Yeah.
Which I'm trying to imagine somebody dressing up as King Arthur.
Or God.
Rolling up to England and being like, I have returned to take England for the Britons. And like everyone in England being, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we'll let you. Oh, wow. All right. And then at the coronation ceremony, just sort of opening up the armor, and it's just a bunch of raccoons being like, yeah, we got you. And then just scuttling away.
I was literally going to say raccoons. That's great.
I mean, raccoons have big Fraggle energy. It's true.
Oh, are raccoons the Fraggles of our world?
No, because they're way more cutthroat.
That's true.
Fraggles would not eat a baby bird.
True.
I also think it's kind of admirable that the Gorgs, so they're very sad about leaving, and they're singing a "We're Sad About Leaving" song, but then it turns kind of upbeat, and the lyrics are kind of like, you know what, we're gonna do this. We got this. It's hard, but we're doing it. Go out and meet our destiny until the new world comes to be. I'm like, okay, cool, good for them.
It's not the best song, though.
It's not the best song.
I gotta say, it proves that you can't necessarily expect like two amazing songs in the same episode.
Right.
Sometimes, but yeah, definitely not always.
Yeah, that'll happen.
That it will.
Mm-hmm.
So they ask like, what happens when the real Sir Hubris shows up?
Mm-hmm.
And my thought was like, then the Fraggles have to suit up again and then like fight him like Voltron.
I love that.
We can't make the Gorgs leave. Get away from your Sir Hubris. But they'd only come up to like his hip.
Yeah.
So yeah, we close out with the Doc and Sprocket scene, and it's sunny, and Doc is thanking Sprocket for going and getting Ned Schimmelfinny and admitting that he was wrong to Sprocket, which is progress.
Yeah.
That's very huge. I also just want to... Doc, you could have died. You are an elderly man. Roofs have a great deal of elevation and slope, and it was pouring rain.
Yeah. Thunder and lightning, the whole deal.
Yeah.
Thank God for Ned Schimmelfinny.
Like, I understand the impulse of a thing is wrong. I have to fix it right now. Like, that's that hyper-focus of nothing else matters in this moment. And yet, I think the thunder and lightning would have stopped me.
Yeah, and like the last shot of the entire episode is like 4 different like bowls and pots in Sprocket's bed. And as someone who sits dogs for a living, who are sometimes also very noisy during a podcast recording, I would have just moved Sprocket's bed away from the leak.
I was wondering that, yeah.
And put a bucket there and been like, we'll deal with it in the morning, instead of him being like, well, I gotta do it now so it stops dripping on Sprocket's bed and Sprocket doesn't have to have a bowl on his head. It's like, my dude, just move the bed. Just do that.
It's not a big workshop, but it's bigger than just Sprocket's bed.
Mm-hmm.
I figured they've got the camera set up, though, and it's not that big of a set. And also, that's the hole where Steve Whitmire sits. So
sure,
you gotta, you can't just move that.
Nope.
We can't make another hole on this set.
Too many holes already. There's one on the wall that Doc keeps meaning to fix, and they're just not fixing. Like,
and then he goes and makes one in the ceiling.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, surprised that he actually is like, I gotta go fix this leak, considering there's a gigantic hole in his wall, and he's like, well, someday I'll deal with that.
Neurodivergence be like that, though.
That is very true.
Woof.
That's real.
Is that how we're reading, Doc?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, very.
It's a long-running thread with the three of us.
All right, makes sense.
Aggressively.
A lot of hyperfixations, a lot of weird fixations, and strange,
poor executive function.
not normal ways going through the world.
Mm-hmm.
Normal by other people's standards.
Yep.
So, Beth, do you want to tell us about the international versions?
Unfortunately, Muppet Wiki does not have any notes on the international versions of this episode.
Thank you for telling us about the international versions.
It does say that...
Sorry.
This tunnel that Gobo has discovered will come back again in a future episode called A Dark and Stormy Night.
Ooh. Nice.
And it says also that recycled footage from the minstrels is used, but it doesn't say where.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to spot it.
I saw that also on Muppet Wiki after I watched the episode, and I was trying to figure out, like,
I'm not sure what that
something
was.
in the caves? Yeah.
Maybe.
I wish I knew. I read that too and didn't know what the hell I was talking about. My takeaway is always put Boober on the bottom.
We didn't...
He complains a lot, but the man held it together for the entire thing. I am proud of him for that.
You really did.
He really made that happen.
We didn't touch on the best line of the entire episode was, "Don't worry about Boober. Moki and Wembley are massaging his legs."
Yes.
Said by Red, where out of context, the most buck wild line. And then we get to see his
Pretty
legs
solid.
getting massaged by them later. And it's
so cute.
a wonderful moment of puppetry. And Dave is hilarious.
And they both have very different philosophies for how to make Boober's legs feel better.
Yeah.
Like Wembley's like rubbing it back and forth, and Moki's like bending it over him.
But you know what? Good for them.
Good for them.
You know, and it speaks to the fact that they were like, hey, let's make this a character moment. It's a throwaway bit. It's a throwaway gag. But even within the throwaway gag, we're going to have character details.
Super
Yeah.
cute. Yeah.
I'm watching one of my favorite game designers do his playthrough of God of War Ragnarok, and he's talking about the animation where Kratos opens a chest and how Kratos just kind of punches through the chest and then takes whatever's in there. And he made me really stop and think about it, because he was like, yeah, this moment where a character opens a chest could just be a regular animation, but it takes a really solid designer and animator to take that and make it be a character moment.
Punching through is a character trait.
It's
For
Kratos,
Kratos,
is a big, beefy God of War who don't care about no consequences.
Oh, okay. That makes sense
This
then.
is the dude who, like, there was a dude whose eyes were glowing and Kratos needed a lantern, so he just tore the dude's head off and carried his head with him.
Aw.
That's God of War for you.
Oh.
That's God of War.
Well, I was going to say, bouncing off of that, of how we make the world a little fragglier. Like,
Yeah, how are we going to make the world a little fragglier?
take care of your friends. When you have a friend who's been through a lot, you don't necessarily massage their leg if that's not what they need. Well, you go take care of them and make sure they got whatever it is that they need.
I feel like a decent leg massage would fix a lot of problems. When you think about it.
Read mythology.
Yeah.
And, like, if you can find multiple different sources and multiple different retellings of a story instead of just the simplest, most common one, read those too. And then, if after reading mythology, if you feel like dressing up like a character for that mythology to try to get the world to change, maybe do it. But, read the mythology first.
I'll just say, just be careful about messing with the ecosystem that you live in and potentially, like, could affect and harm other people, whether that is, just the land and atmosphere, also folks around you, and I don't know, just use your head before making really brash decisions of stacking your 4 friends on top of you and trying to scare an entire people. I don't know, I lost the train of thought.
Trying to eradicate an entire species.
I guess so, yeah, don't eradicate species, I guess. That's how you can make the world fragglier.
Excellent.
Danny, do you have a way we can make the world a little fragglier?
If you're gonna go up on the roof in the middle of the night, it's good to have a neighbor with a ladder to help you out when you need it, and to give you a leg massage when your leg has gone through the roof. Take care of each other, I think.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, Danny. This has been
thank
awesome.
you for
Thank you
having
so
me. This has been so
much.
much fun. Yay.
Yay. All right. Where can our listeners find you online?
Listeners can find me at on Twitter and Facebook. Check out the Muppet Pictures Twitter feed or the Facebook feed. It's delightful, and it's just giving you like 2 Muppet pictures every day. And the Fantastic Miss Piggy podcast is available on the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcasts feed. It's so far 11 episodes long, and then I'm working on a second season, which should come out in a little while.
Which, speaking of mythology, now I understand that Piggy is a mythological trickster character.
That is true. I talk about that a lot
It's
on
incredible.
several episodes. Yeah.
God, she and Bugs Bunny would tear up all of the scenery.
Right?
It would be so good.
Miss Piggy, Bugs Bunny, and Groucho Marx are all basically the same character.
I would argue with you on that, but we're winding down.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
You can find me on social media at Beth Anna Cook. That's Anna with 2 N's. and occasionally writing stuff for Tough Pigs.
And you can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up on social media, also occasionally writing things for Tough Pigs, and juliagaskell.com if you happen to enjoy poetry.
I actually have a thing to plug.
Whoa!
Ooh.
I have an article on Tough Pigs now.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least I probably will by the time this episode comes out.
By the time it comes out.
But yeah, it's called, or at least the working title is Gonzo, Neurodivergence and the Culture of Coming Home. And it's about why Gonzo is such an important character to me and why I really love the way that Muppets from Space handled him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm so
fantastic.
excited.
I'm super excited to read
I
that.
can't wait to see that.
All right. That is it for this episode. Thanks so much for listening. Reminder to check out toughpigs.com. Give us a good review on your podcatcher of choice, and we will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Holteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
My name is Adam, and I misread my notes again and thought I was watching for the 4th time, but thankfully the nice ranger helped me get home okay.
Oh, thank goodness.
I met Danny in the woods. Can he be on the podcast?
I mean, I certainly hope he can.
Yay! Hooray! How are you guys doing? I'm sorry, we're not going with the woods improv.
We might. Who knows? I can edit it down to be.
I was trying to, and then no, I'll just be Danny Horn. Hi.
It's okay. It's okay. You are allowed to take my bit and just sort of gently set it aside. That is totally fine.
It's beautiful, and I love it though. I hate to kill it.
Well, you didn't kill it. You just sort of were like, it's instead of a yes and, it's a no thank you.
Yes, exactly.